News Now weekends at 5:30.
For joining us, I'm Karina Garcia. A truck driver died when his 18-wheeler crashed into a home Saturday in Mission, Texas. Authorities say the truck swerved off an expressway, hit two cars, and plowed into the house. One of the cars was occupied. That driver is in a hospital in stable condition. Fortunately, no one was inside the house as it was up for sale. The 51-year-old driver of the truck was pronounced dead at the scene, and city crews worked to pull out the truck without the house collapsing. No word what may have caused the driver to swerve off the expressway. Now, a community in upstate New York holding a vigil overnight for a 13-year-old boy who was shot and killed by police Friday night. The officer is now on administrative leave without pay amid the ongoing investigation, and authorities have released body cam video showing the incident as it completely unfolded. And we want to warn you, this video is difficult to watch.
Hundreds of people gathering at a vigil in Utica, New York Saturday night to remember 13-year-old Nhin Wei. The teen was shot and killed by police after authorities say he pointed a replica handgun at officers during a chase Friday night.
Start us in the ambulance. We got shots fired.
Disturbing new body-worn camera video released by the Utica Police Department capturing the incident. While on patrol, police say officers stopped Nhin and another juvenile as part of what they say was an investigation into recent robberies in the area. The video shows Wei as he runs away from police and appears to point what looks like a gun at officers during the chase, as seen in this video, highlighted and edited by the Utica Police Department. Authorities then tackling him to the ground, punching him before one officer fired a single gunshot, killing Wei.
Oh my God! Yo, he just shot him!
And a Utica police officer ultimately discharged his firearm once, striking the male during a ground struggle.
Authorities attempted to explain the incident at a press conference, which then turned chaotic.
While fleeing, the youth displayed what appeared to be a handgun. Can you please allow me to finish, please?
These pictures show a replica gun that police say Wei had in his possession at the time of the incident.
On the scene, the officers did recover a replica Glock 17 handgun with a detachable magazine. This replica handgun was ultimately found to be a pellet gun.
The officer who fired his gun has been identified as Patrick Husney, a 6-year veteran of the Utica Police Department. He and 2 other officers on scene have been placed on paid administrative leave as the investigation continues. That community now calling for action.
The police officers need to be investigated and held accountable for their actions.
Early Sunday, the New York Attorney General's office announcing it has opened an investigation into the death of Wei. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
Heavy rains and flooding in Texas are raising alarms about a potential failure at Lake Livingston Dam. The dam is located about 70 miles north of Houston. The Trinity River Authority of Texas issued an advisory to residents in the area. Authorities in San Jacinto County echoed that warning. They are calling for a voluntary evacuation of homes near the dam because of rising waters. Meantime, the TRA says while there is no immediate danger, the potential does exist for the dam to break, and the agency says day-to-day operation of the dam will continue, although workers may change normal gate operations as conditions warrant. And it is now time to talk weather on this Sunday night with meteorologist Trey Mining. Trey, what we got this week?
Definitely more heat, more humidity, small rain chances, but the tropics are certainly active. Get to that a little bit later on. 92 degrees currently in Victoria. Index value 101 with add the humidity factor in. Definitely it is the hot one on the outside currently. The humidity level is still above 50%. So the southerly winds near 10 miles per hour, bringing in that moisture off the Gulf of Mexico. What about the hurricane in the Atlantic Beryl? And maybe something developing in the Gulf of Mexico as we speak. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the full forecast. Karina?
Trey, thank you. The first hurricane of the 2024 Atlantic season is here, and it is now considered extremely dangerous, a Category 4 storm. It's quickly gaining strength as it heads to the Caribbean and forecasted to be the strongest hurricane to hit that region in 20 years.
The first named hurricane of the 2024 Atlantic season is here and making history. Beryl is now an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane with sustained winds of 130 miles per hour as it churns toward the Caribbean.
We're forecasting rapid intensification and expecting Beryl to become a a major hurricane before it reaches places like Barbados and the Windward Islands.
Beryl is now the earliest Category 4 hurricane on record in the Atlantic Ocean and the only Category 4 storm ever recorded in the month of June. The early timing of the season's first hurricane is unusual, given the average date for the first hurricane is early to mid-August.
It is because these ocean temperatures are incredibly warm. We're talking about ocean temperatures in the middle and upper 80s. This is fuel and food for those hurricanes, and that's what allows them to rapidly intensify.
Tropical storm force winds are expected to reach the Windward Islands late Sunday or early Monday. Hurricane warnings are in effect for multiple Caribbean islands, and residents there should be prepared for major storm impacts.
It's not just from the wind perspective. We're expecting a very dangerous, life-threatening storm surge of 5 to 7 feet above normal tide levels, nearer to the right of where the center passes through those islands with large and destructive waves. Also expecting 3 to 6 inches of rainfall. So a very dangerous situation unfolding.
Grenada's government has already declared a state of emergency effective Sunday evening in anticipation of the hurricane's arrival. I'm Rob Kirkpatrick reporting.
President Biden's re-election campaign brought in millions of dollars after his performance at the first debate of this election season. The campaign announced Sunday it raised more than $33 million since Thursday's debate. President Biden spoke at fundraisers in the Hamptons Saturday, including one in Red Bank, New Jersey. He acknowledged to his supporters that it was a disappointing debate performance and vowed that he could win in November. The two-day fundraising haul comes on the heels of Biden raising roughly $40 million over 5 days earlier this month, which included fundraisers with former Presidents Obama and Clinton. Victoria City Council members set to meet Tuesday at 5 p.m. inside council chambers at 107 West Juan Lynn Street. On the agenda is the proclamation of Parks and Rec Month and a July Business Beautification Award, as well as the amending of an ordinance called the Unified Development Ordinance. Several contract approvals are also on this agenda. Now, the city manager will also give support for a program for 2025. Now, Victoria County Commissioners are also set to meet on Saturday, or rather tomorrow at 10 a.m. Monday on the second floor inside room 241 on 115 North Bridge Street. On that agenda are several items from the Victoria County Public Health Department, an application for a tax abatement from Portside Energy Center LLC, and the authorization of the Victoria Economic Development Corporation to conduct an impact study, as well as an approval of a memorandum of understanding between the Victoria ISD and the Sheriff's Office regarding the School Resource Officer Program. Now, for more on today's news stories, come to crossroadstoday.com, and don't forget to submit your birthday wishes so Sunrise anchor Carolina Estrine and meteorologist Parker Cox can read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we may recognize them. Now, we are still discovering Dublin with evening anchor John Brubaker. He soaked up some real beauty this morning as he drove through the County Clare, famous for its archaeological sites, unique rock formation, and glacier age limestone that has eroded over the ages to form moonscape patterns.
Good evening, everyone. It's a hot day again today. Look at the feel like temperatures 106 to 110 across the entire region. Southerly flow. See here by all the little arrows. That means it's right off the Gulf of Mexico. That keeps the humidity high and the oppressive feel in the air for us. No changes in that coming up. And we're dropping down not too much, coming up by midnight only in the upper 70s near 80 degrees for the feel like temperature, and rocketing up again for your day on Monday, 104 to 105 by the time we get to 11, 12 noon in the afternoon, 109 to 110 by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Look at the big picture. We have a few rain showers today that moved on through, and they're very small. They're pretty much out of the picture now. High pressure still dominates the weather here, centered mainly to the north. And this is going to be important because this will be the main driver and how the tropical system like Beryl will begin to move toward the northwestern Caribbean Sea, maybe the Gulf of Mexico. If it weakens a little bit, this high pressure cell or breaks down somewhat, that'll allow the window for the Beryl to move into further into the central Gulf. If it stays firm like it is, it'll suppress it to the south, moving toward Mexico. So we'll wait and see exactly what's going to happen with the storm, of course. First of all, we got Tropical Depression 3 in the Gulf of Mexico right there, just off of Veracruz, Mexico. This is way down here. Here's the Yucatan Peninsula, by the way, to give you a frame of reference. And there's Texas way up here. Moving toward Mexico, might briefly become a tropical storm. If it does, it'll be named Chris later on this afternoon before moving into Mexico, of course. Not a threat to us. So we'll say goodbye to that one because it's not going to be impacting us at all. And looking at powerful Hurricane Beryl, look at this, 130-mile-per-hour winds, Category 4 solid, getting close to the Lesser Antilles here in the Caribbean Sea, coming up by your Monday. And continuing to move further to the west with time. There's a closer view of it. It's pretty compact, a lot of outflow in the upper levels of the atmosphere, keeping the storm on the heavy side, on the intense side, I should say. And looking at the projected track, keeping Category 4 right on through your day on Monday, and running into a little bit of Saharan dust and wind shear when it moves into the central and the western Caribbean Sea. Hopefully that'll be able to knock it down a little bit. Seems like the forecast models think it may weaken about a Category 2 or so by the time it gets to Jamaica near about Wednesday or so. And maybe, depending on how the high pressure behaves to the north, maybe a little bit more window to the north, or if it continues more to the south. The kind of Hurricane Center is thinking to me more to the south toward Mexico, so we'll see if that takes place. Of course, a lot of time to watch it, so keep in mind to watch the progress of Beryl as ahead throughout the week. Of course, we'll keep you updated right here, of course. And future clouds and radar, well, not really too much. Here and there, clouds kind of hit and miss. Nothing on the radar scope this evening. Maybe a few popping up early in the morning or coming up along the coast, working its way inland throughout the day on your Monday. So keep that in mind. Got a 20% chance of rain for that. For us here, we're keeping it hot as usual, typical for the summertime pattern around here. Port Lavaca, how you looking? Sunny for your day tomorrow. 94, 95 degrees will be the daytime high. Heat index value well above 100 degrees. Can't rule out an isolated shower sometime during the afternoon time, so keep that in mind. Also in Cuero, high temperatures in the mid-90s, upper 90s. Isolated rain shower storm possible as well during the daytime heat by 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Victoria, pretty much the same as well. A few clouds out there, sunny skies, high temperatures well into the mid to upper 90s with triple-digit heat index value. Extended forecast for us. Hazy conditions, the Saharan dust kind of moving into the atmosphere and giving us kind of hazy appearance for your Monday, Tuesday, maybe into Wednesday. Some rain chances for your day Thursday, which is Independence Day, lasting to the weekend. Highs in the 90s, triple-digit heat index value, lows in the 70s. Take a look at this, by the way. Get your smartphone, scan the code you see there on your screen. Made it easy for you. That'll connect you with our website to download the Crossroads of Today app and sign up for email alerts, news, weather, and sports. All at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient, free of charge. Have it connected with us. Speaking of sports, Zach is in the house.
Thank you, Trey. Rubber game of the 3-game series with the Astros and Mets. Highlights coming up in sports. The Houston Astros trying to follow their incredible comeback yesterday up with another win this afternoon. They were already leading 3-0 in the fifth when Altuve bloops one in the center field. That drops and is going to score Dubon to make it 4-0 Houston, but trouble for the Stros after the lead was cut in half. Brian Abreu in the game and Brandon Nimmo promptly ties it in the 7th. But we don't have a final score. Right before 3 p.m., severe weather delayed the game, which is tied at 4 apiece in the 9th, and they just started about 5 minutes ago, waiting on a final score on that one. The Texas Rangers in Baltimore again tonight. They've had a rough go of it as of late. They have lost 6 games in a row and are at risk of being swept in 4 by the Orioles. The Rangers are currently 37-46 on the year. Trying to get back in the win column. First pitch coming shortly at 6:05 p.m. The Victoria Generals, probably the hottest team in the TCL. They have won 9 out of their last 10 ball games after last night's shutout of the Brazos Valley Bombers. First pitch in their second game of the evening tonight at 7:05 p.m. Former San Antonio Spurs turned Atlanta Hawk DeJounte Murray was traded yesterday to the New Orleans Pelicans. Murray spent the first 6 years of his career with the Spurs before being traded to the Hawks about 2 years ago. Now the All-Star headed to the New Orleans Pelicans to join forces with Zion and potentially Brandon Ingram. And from the Dallas Mavs, Tim Hardaway Jr. on the move to the Detroit Pistons and a few second-rounders in exchange for Quentin Grimes. Hardaway Jr. has been with the Mavs since the 2019 season, but found himself largely out of the rotation at times in the postseason. The 32-year-old averaged just over 14 points a game this past season, shooting only 40%. Longtime ESPN college basketball analyst Dick Vitale has been diagnosed with cancer for the 4th time. Vitale made the announcement on social media on Friday. He wrote that a biopsy of a lymph node in his neck came back positive for cancer. And how about some college baseball news for the Aggies? Former Texas A&M hitting coach Michael Early has been named the 21st head baseball coach at Texas A&M this afternoon. That is it for your sports. Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. And we're going to be back in a moment. Stay with us. Are Chipotle bowls really getting smaller? We have that answer next. We want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon, Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Now, are Chipotle burrito bowls really getting smaller? Well, that's what a Wells Fargo restaurant analyst wanted to find out after the viral trend dubbed the Chipotle phone method surfaced on TikTok. That's when customers accuse the restaurant of skimping on food portions while filming the interaction. As it turns out, the sizes vary, and he found out that some bowls weighed 14 ounces and others weighed 27 ounces. So, you know, they weren't consistent there. So in response, Chipotle's yeah, I know, they weren't consistent. So in response, Chipotle says sizes may vary just depending on those ingredients. You know what? I feel like they are skipping us out.
I feel like we should have one here in Victoria.
I think we did at one point.
We did. We used
I
to,
wasn't here
yes.
for it. I certainly wasn't here. What happened to it, Trey? This is your stuff.
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I'll inform you next time.
But long story short, after they're skimping on those sizes, we don't want them here no more. So no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Get what you pay for.
Exactly, because how are you going to go from 14 ounces to one bowl and then the other one's 27?
And if you read the story, it depends on the ingredients.
Oh, come on.
Maybe some people are getting only lettuce. If you get chicken, there's a big size difference in there.
Okay, you're right. I didn't account for the
by the way, oxide rain shower during the day, the second half of the week. Try your best to stay cool, best you can, and watching the tropics, of course, and all week this coming up week.
All righty, thank you, Trey. And thank you for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Have a great week.